Welcome back. If you saw our previous video, you know we're on the Isle of Arran. Since then, we've had a little bit of a mechanical issue with our van, and we'll tell you about that later on in the video. In the meantime, we're going to make our way down through this working farm and check out the Macri standing stones. So it's not until you get here. I don't know what I was thinking. In my head, I thought it was a stone circle like you see around the UK. But it's not until you get here that you start to appreciate that there is quite some sort of significance here. There's some white granite boulders over there, all very specific shape. And then there's a standalone red sandstone monolith that they call them. And a little way away from that over there is 3 more of these monoliths, slightly smaller. And I think further down behind those 3, there's more stones as well. Anyway, let's go and have a look. So Diane's just pointed out all these little weird green, dark green circles are all over the floor inside this here, but they're like a darker sort of shade of grey. So if anybody knows what this is, let us know in the comments below.
So standing stones have become a really big thing since the success of Outlander, and I know it's not the correct stones, but I've just got to go up and...
It won't show it on camera, but it's really getting quite dark here now. We are at 3:30, it'll be easily dark by 4 o'clock. So we're having to rush around here so we can take it all in. I'm walking through a very big bog now. So we can take it all in and get the 2 kilometres back to the car park before it gets too dark. Okay, so I said earlier on in the video that we had a problem with the van, and what's happened is we've driven into a pothole and it's broken the front left-hand spring, which means when we're driving now there's a horrible clunking sound, particularly when we're turning the steering wheel at really low speeds when we're sort of manoeuvring in a car park or something like that. Fortunately, the spring is still sitting in the, it's still seated properly, so we're able to drive. We've just got to go really, really slowly. But it means we've got to get off the island and get ourselves to a garage. We have got one booked, but we've got another problem pending getting off the island, and we'll tell you about that in a second.
So Nigel's already explained to you about the damaged spring in our van, but we've got another issue. We're forecast for some really high winds tomorrow about lunchtime, and we didn't want to take the chance of being stranded on the island and not get into the garage in time. So we've managed to change our ticket and get on the first ferry out tomorrow, hopefully before the winds come in. So we're all booked in for our sailing, but it's still showing in the website, and the lady at the check-in desk has just said that the crossing will be attempted. However, we may not get into a Drossen, we may have to go to Troon.
Is the sailing was going pretty smoothly, and then we're, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes outside of our Drossen, and the wind has really picked up, and the captain just said they're turning the ferry around now just to wait and see if it eases back a little bit. They're getting something like 50 knot gusts, and it's a bit too dodgy. I think if it becomes too bad, then the option will be to go back down to Troon and up from there. But yeah, he's turned the boat around just so that we're pointing into the wind and it's less choppy.
So we thought we were doing really well getting off the island on the first ferry this morning at 8:15. It's now 20 to 11 and we've just returned to the Isle of Arran. We couldn't get into a Ardrossan, tried several times, and we've been sitting out at sea for a bit, and then they've just abandoned it and brought us back into Brodick.
So we are celebrating getting stuck on Arran by trying whiskey. We stopped in at the Lochranza Distillery, the Arran Distillery at Lochranza.
Yep, that's right. And we're not really whiskey drinkers, but we've bought ourselves the Arran single malt barrel reserve.
Yeah, I think we should. When Diane says we're not really whiskey drinkers, I can honestly count on one hand the amount of sips of whiskey I've had in my lifetime. I don't think I've even had a full glass. It's one of those things for me that as soon as you bring the glass to your nose, it's like, oh, no, I can't do it. But people always say, the aficionados always say, when you try the good stuff, it's a different.
Okay. I have tried a lot of whiskey in my time, and I'm really sorry, Mum, if you happen to watch this, but I was always sent out to school. If I had a cold, I went half cut to school after having a hot toddy. So that has really put me off whiskey. So we're going to try this and see how we get on. Right, okay. Now apparently we're meant to try it neat. Now we've got 2 plastic. Yeah, we're really going to have to up our game here. Right, okay. So let's try a little bit there. Go on then. Okay, oh hang on a minute. We need to tell people about what whiskey this is. I said it was the Arran whiskey. Yeah, but there's a few Arran whiskies, isn't there? Yeah, I said it was the barrel reserve. Oh, I thought it was the Robbie Burns one we got. No. Oh, I've got all confused now. Right, okay. So is it what... Bottoms up, is that what the Scots say? The smell. That's actually not bad. Yeah, it brings me back to school. Right, Slante. Cheers. I think I might need a little water in mine. God, that is... Makes your eyes water. Okay. That's very warming. That's why I was sent to school with it. Right, well. I don't want any more. In fact, that second sip is making me... £6 we paid for that bottle. Can't speak. On that bombshell. Well, after our ferry drama yesterday, we're still waiting to get off the island. They've cancelled the 2 ferries, the 2 first ferries this morning that are going to Troon, and we're booked on one this afternoon. And we're not sure if they're going to run that one, but they're going to update the website in about an hour's time. We're really happy to be stranded on Arran, and we'd be over the moon to be here if it wasn't for the spring in the van. That's limiting us a bit because we obviously don't want to drive too far on that. So and also because we're booked in for repairs and the guy's got the part for us, and we don't want to let him down either. So fingers crossed that we do get off later on today. So we're just taking a quick walk into town just to stock up on some supplies, just in case our ferry does get cancelled later on. Okay, so our second attempt to get off the island has been thwarted. You can see weather is pretty grim at the moment, and the next few days forecast pretty much the same. That said, they reckon there's a small weather window tomorrow morning, and we've got booked on again, albeit to go to Troon, which is no problem, we can deal with that. Probability of that actually happening though, I think, is quite slim, but we'll find out more tomorrow. So we've had a couple of questions about being stranded on Arran. We are fine actually. There's some really good supermarkets in town, So we're fine on supplies, we've got power on board, we've got water facilities. It's actually really good being stranded on Arran. If we could move a little bit more with the van, but because of the broken spring we're not able to do that. But we've got a really good park up and we're sheltered. So we're back at the ferry terminal this morning waiting for the Troon ferry to come in. It's looking more positive at the moment, but they have told us that they want to load and turn around as quickly as possible because the weather is due to worsen towards 11 o'clock. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So we're about half an hour into our sailing now and it's just starting to get quite rough out here. Yeah, lock car alarms going off. So our van's been in for repair in the springs and we've been lucky enough to spend a couple of days with my mum whilst that was done. Yeah, nice. We've now got back on the road and made our way down to Dumfries and Galloway and we're at the gorgeous remote Loch Trool. And we'll leave you here for this video, but like and subscribe and join us on the next one.